Hello YouTubers and my young investors, welcome. This is a new video we have for this week. This is how to control your emotions in investing. Okay, in order to do that, we're going to basically go over how you can just control your emotions in general, and then we'll go to the next level, which is controlling it during investing. I can tell you from personal experience in investing, there is no set cure to be able to completely control. There's always going to be butterflies in your stomach. There's always going to be nervous, especially if you're investing, say like in the stock market or even in Forex and any other types of investments. You're never going to get rid of that fear. That fear is always going to be with you forever. However, you need to keep it under control. Now, let's start off quickly here and talk a little bit about the company. It's Instar Alliance. We're here in the Washington, D.C. area. My broker is out of the Illinois area. The phone number, which I've given you many times, is 703-646-3941. Why do I mention that? Because this is a real thing. I'm not a hypothetical person. I'm not one of those gurus that sits back and tells you about all these different things and theories and analogies. I use it on a practical daily basis. I think that's a better teacher, perhaps, again, that's my opinion, versus someone who just has theories and thoughts and then talks to about it, for weeks on end, One of the reasons I liked Anthony Davis, and I have him on there for you to check out, is because that person, he doesn't have a lot of subscribers, but the people who listen to him are very intelligent people. Why? Because they realize that they don't live in a fictitious fantasy world. They live in the real world here in the U.S. and they want to know what the problems are so that they themselves don't become victim to them. And that's why I have them on there as well. Vanessa Lau, I liked her because of her innovation and just her practicality in regards to looking at different types of income and how to improve whatever business that you have. Those were the two, I guess you want to call them mentors of YouTube. There are many others that I've watched, but those are the ones I like the most. But anyway, like I said, this is a real business. We help people get out of debt quick. And what do I consider quick? It just depends on how much debt they're in. If they're in debt that they have mortgages, it may take 8 to 10 years to do it, but it's doable. We use new investment tools. That these particular tools allow them to create an income of 4.5 to 4.75% on their money that they've put into it, and then they can draw from it, and once they draw from it, then they can help pay themselves off these bills. I'll get into that more often as we go along in the series. You can always call and get information. It's a 24/7 line. We'll get back in touch with you, but let's move on. So one of the biggest problems that people have is with negativity is that it hits them everywhere. And they don't understand that the source of negativity is something that can't be controlled. But basically all we can do is try to keep a positive mindset. I'm going to read you this article real quick here, and please follow along because it's really important. It talks about herd mentality, and that's really an important thing that you should know about because most people fall prey to it. Sayers and Orwell were onto something, but the uncomfortable truth is that the mass media has only amplified since their time. The average American today spends close to 4 hours a day reading and listening to or simply interacting with media on computers, tablets, or mobile devices. One recent study found. For tweens, the figure is even higher, 4.5 hours. For teens, average screen time is still higher, 6.5 hours a day. That's a lot of intake of negativity, and that's basically what you're intaking. The inundation of media poses a threat to one of the most essential qualities that makes human beings human, individuality. To be fair, the individual has always struggled to survive the herd, to paraphrase Kipling, but in many ways, mass media makes this quest even more difficult. Today we are endlessly bombarded with messaging, imagery, and ideology, fighting for our attention, minds, and wallets. We're told what shows to watch and what books to read and which characters are problematic. We're told what ideas and messages are okay and what must be suppressed, expunged, or modified. We see which celebrities are punished for which transgressions. For many, it's exhausting, confusing, and anxiety-inducing. Perhaps the worst part is that many individuals feel they have no choice but to follow the herd. And that's the problem. You can't follow the herd. If you follow the herd, you'll be nothing in life. The herd is nothing in life. The herd are people who follow whatever it seems like everyone else is doing, and then they assume that it's the best thing for you. All the wealthy people that I've known in my life, and I know a few, and they're basically the ones that I associate with, being one of them, don't follow the herd. They don't listen to the reasoning that they see on TV. They watch it with a grain of salt. And that's the way you need to do. Now, keeping that in mind, let's move on. The next thing we want to talk about is how can I control my emotions? That is only one source that I know that's the best source for that, and I have a book for it, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to actually have to spend some money on your own life. I know it's a terrible thing. You might want to get that latte instead, but this is the book that you need to get. This little book right here, okay? The Silva Mind Control Method by Jose Silva. And what it talks about is you have the id, superego, and ego. And basically, you need to understand how your mind works. Your mind basically accumulates different thoughts, different ideas, and different concepts. And you have to be able to use them in a positive manner. Now, you're getting bombarded, as we talked about earlier, of all this negativity. And sadly enough, there's no way around it. It's just going to be there. One way to help yourself, and things I do, is you just isolate yourself when you are trying to accomplish something in life. And I'm not talking about working at a job. I'm talking about doing things that are going to actually benefit you, not some other employer. I'm talking about something that moves you forward in life, financially. And speaking of that, I have a little tip for my investors. It sounds like Apple's going to come out with some sort of Wi-Fi program for their phones in another month or so. Maybe you want to jump on that. Just a little tidbit there. I usually don't do them, but I gave it to you on this one because I just heard about it and it seems like it's going to be revolutionary. But anyway, that's for my stock people and who want to trade stocks. Again, if you can't spend the time to monitor it, with the expansion, the contraction, expansion, and then the trend, don't do it because you'll lose money. But if you can, great. So anyway, getting back, the Silva Mind Method, what it does is it teaches you to project positive reasoning within your own mind. How do you do that? Let me read that to you. I'm going to take the one from the sales book. The reason why I'm taking this one is because, I'm in sales and obviously I have business and, I'm working in a business and we do sales. So it talks about the thinking of alpha. You have alpha and beta levels, which are consciousness and then going into unconsciousness, into sleep. And what it talks about basically is you need to take a deep breath. You need to exhale and try to relax your body. Okay? You count backwards from 50 to 1. You say to yourself mentally, this is towards the end of the day as you're starting to wind down, getting ready to go to bed or whatever. Every day, and in every way, I am getting better, better, and better. What that means is it's trying to possess or trying to put in your mind positive thoughts. Because by the time you get home, you're on a circuit overload. You've been hit with negativity, especially if you work a job. You've been hit with negativity for so long, you just beat it down, beat it under the dirt. And the only way that you can help yourself is you have to clear your mind. You have to think back positive thoughts. Once you do that, then you begin to project those thoughts consciously in your mind. You go over and over and over again until after a while, once you've done that, then in time, you will begin to see some of the goals that you focused on in a positive manner projected out into the universe, projected out in front of you, because the whole world is somewhat like revolving a little bit around you. In other words, your actions and your reactions are causing the reality that you live in. You have to face up to that. All other people I know, they all accept whatever happens to them in life, and they accept it as their fault. Okay? They say, this is what happens to me. This is because I did this and this. Then they try to learn from it. They try to move forward with it. Don't dwell on the negativity. There's plenty of it outside once you step out of your house or wherever you live. Try to be positive every single day. I know it's hard to do, but when you're investing, you're going to have butterflies in your stomach and you're going to, oh, what's going to happen next? But if you have confidence, great. And not only does that work for investing, but it works for a lot of things in life. So you need to focus on the positive. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to start practicing. I want you to spend some money. I'm sorry. 10 or 15 bucks. Go on eBay. You can get the little book if you want, which is this little one here. This just goes straight to it. Or if you happen to be in sales work like I do, you might want to get the sales position. But they're both very, very similar. Go from that. Remember what I talked about, herd mentality. Next week we'll push forward towards it. Also, too, I need to remind you, I have friends, because I used to work at the Pentagon years ago. I'll be coming back from China. And we'll see what happened, why we ended up with this horrible pandemic that we live in now. I think you're going to be really surprised at who helped to cause it. That I could figure probably around towards the end of middle to end of August that should be able to pull that episode together so you'll learn more about it. And until then, have a safe week, and I'll talk to you later.